After finding the Chaos Emeralds on Prime Earth, Sonic and his team have returned to join the Justice League and bring the fight to Darkseid. Sonic and his friends have finally returned to their world and gathered with the Justice League. Before them floats the Ragnarok, Darkseid's multiverse-crossing spaceship. Storms swirl around it as the power from his Chaos Engine continues to slowly rip apart the very fabric of reality. Darkseid and the 7th Chaos Emerald should be in there somewhere. Beyond that, my scans can't pick up anything definitive, Cyborg confirms to the others. He looks to Tails, who created his own cyborg armor while on the Prime Earth. Since you've clearly upgraded, want to help me crunch the numbers and figure out how to get inside? Cyborg asks. Of course! Tails shouts with glee. Everyone quickly catches up on their adventures while the two geniuses get to work. Knuckles confirms that the Fortress of Solitude is fine, and that he spent most of his time dealing with Lex Luthor. Oh boy, Superman groans. No one in the Corps ever gave up hope, John. Although, Guy was pretty crass about it, Silver tells John Stewart. He grows on you, with time, John says with a shrug. Your city is safe, but the Joker blew up the Batmobile, Shadow growls at Batman. It happens, the Dark Knight says with a nod. Amy explains that she felt like she made some real friends with the Amazons on Themyscira. And Flash tells Sonic about how he defeated Zavok and stole his conch shell and Chaos Emerald. Ha! That's great! I had a lot of fun handling your rogues myself, Sonic says with a wink. Finally, Cyborg and Tails are finished with their work, explaining that they are going to use the 6 Chaos Emeralds to create a bridge to the 7th, just like they did to bring Sonic and his crew back to their world. Once we have all 7 Chaos Emeralds, we undo all the damage Darkseid and his forces have done. Tails tells them all, let's go! For all worlds! For all peoples! Wonder Woman shouts as Cyborg and Tails open the portal. For the future of everyone! Silver agrees as they all leap into the boom tube. The heroes pop out on the other side, finding themselves inside the Ragnarok. But now, the interior of the ship has become a swirling black void. The Chaos Engine continues to pulse with dark energy, slowly tearing apart reality. Darkseid stands before them, the final Chaos Emerald still clutched in his hand. At last! Had you left this world to die, I would have been trapped within this abyss. But you did not. You could not. You must risk everything to save the meaningless lives of the masses. Darkseid rumbles with a smile as he turns to the heroes. He holds up the emerald, using its powers to shift the very ground beneath his feet. And so you bring me the tools I need to free myself and lay waste to this world and a host of others. You have my appreciation for being so hopelessly reliable, he tells them as the Chaos Emerald begins to glow in his hand, creating a massive titan that rises up. I have spent countless ages learning to bend this distorted hell to my will. Come, face me and die, Darkseid orders. The Titan swings its massive hand and reaches for the heroes, but Superman and Knuckles leap forward, using their combined strength to smash through the stone. Keep him busy, Superman shouts. Wonder Woman and Amy leap in to help, but Batman turns to Shadow. Tear gas, flashbang, and every repellent you have, he orders. Shadow raises an eyebrow as Batman points to Darkseid. That won't stop a god, he reminds the Dark Knight. Batman nods. No, but it buys us a few seconds, which can make all the difference, he says as they leap forward, firing everything they've got at Darkseid. The god turns to them in annoyance, but Green Lantern and Silver are there, using constructs to hold Darkseid's hands apart. With Darkseid distracted, Cyborg and Tails fly towards the Chaos Engine, pushing the device they created to control the Chaos Emeralds forward, to try and contain the engine. "We just need the last emerald," Cyborg shouts. Sonic rushes forward as Darkseid continues to fight. He leaps through the air and snags the emerald from the god's hand. "Nice! Let's get it to our boys in tech support," Flash shouts as he joins Sonic. But the two realize that the ground has crumbled between them and the two geniuses. "Yeah, kinda hard to build up speed when I've got nothing to run on," Sonic points out. But Flash smiles. He motions to the gravity warping all around him as he stands upside down on another piece of rock. "Match me step for step and we'll both race over there. The real question is, can you keep pace?" Flash asks. Sonic grins as they prepare to run. "Sure, I think I can slow down for you," he says. The two speedsters start to run, pushing off each other's feet to gain speed. Behind them, the rest of the heroes continue to fight against Darkseid. "No!" Darkseid bellows. He grabs Superman by the throat and tosses him away before turning his Omega beams on Sonic. Sonic and Flash continue to run on each other's feet, the Omega beams close behind. Sonic jumps to slam the final emerald into Tails' device, just as the Omega beams strike him and explode in a flash of light. A bright glow begins to emit in the room, and suddenly, Gold Sonic floats before them. "I'll admit, that actually stung a bit, Backside. Tell me if you feel this," Supersonic says before launching himself at Darkseid and kicking him over and over again with super speed. Darkseid grunts in surprise before grabbing Sonic by the head. "The barest itch!" he growls before headbutting the hedgehog, but Sonic just smiles. "A hit like that? You're a featherweight god, huh?" he jokes. Nearby, Tails catches Flash. "So he can turn into a golden god now? Show off," Flash says with a smile. Cyborg and Tails study their device. While Sonic took the full power of the Chaos Emeralds, he also supercharged their device. Tails looks at it and the Chaos Engine. "That should be enough to handle the inversion, but we need a sufficient charge as a catalyst," Tails shouts to Cyborg. Luckily, Flash is there with a solution. "The Speed Force is one of the fundamental forces of the universe. This should be able to drive things forward," he suggests, informing them that he just needs to get up to speed. Tails begins to fly and spin his tail. "I'll act as your treadmill," he shouts. Together, the two heroes begin to charge up, while Cyborg shields them with his tech. Behind them, the heroes continue to hold off Darkseid. It takes the full might of the Justice League, Supersonic, and his friends to hold off the Dark God. Superman and Knuckles hit him with super strength. Wonder Woman and Amy use weapons constructed by Green Lantern to slam into Darkseid again and again. Batman and Shadow leap forward while Darkseid is distracted, tossing grenades and stun devices at him. But when the smoke clears, Darkseid is still standing. His eyes glow with anger, and he begins to fold the chaos reality around them, threatening to destroy them all. "Enough! I will suffer no further indignity!" Darkseid bellows. "Stop! Think! You'll be erased too!" Amy shouts as she rushes forward. But Darkseid shakes his head. "Darkseid is eternal. Darkseid is!" The god rumbles. Finally, the Flash has gained enough speed. The catalyst is ready, and he reaches out and hits the device with a powerful spark. Light begins to flare as the device interacts with the Chaos Engine, erasing Darkseid's darkness. Supersonic looks on to his speedster friend. "Show off," he calls. The explosion is massive, rippling through the multiverse, across both worlds. Even Superman has to blink at the blinding light. When he opens his eyes, he is floating above Metropolis. Quickly, he taps his Justice League communicator. "Superman to the Justice League. What's your situation?" Superman asks. One by one, the League checks in, confirming they are all home. Cyborg stands before the Hall of Justice, confirming that when he and Tails combined the power of the Chaos Emeralds with the Chaos Engine, they restored both realities and reverted time to before Darkseid's arrival on Sonic's Earth. Back on their Earth, Sonic and his friends marvel at everything returning to normal, including the Master Emerald being restored. "In short, we won our happily ever after," Tails says with joy. "I'm just glad everyone's safe and sound," Amy says as they finally sit down to enjoy their picnic. The heroes return to their lives, but something isn't right. Back on Earth Prime, Lex Luthor stands in his office. Once again, the reckless actions of the self-appointed heroes put all of creation at risk. "For not just my world, but yours as well," Lex says. Dr. Robotnik steps from the shadows, a large smile on his face. "I couldn't agree more, Lex. Leaving the boundaries between our worlds open was sloppy on their part. It's only right we take advantage of their carelessness," he says. The two turn and admire the giant robot that they've begun to create. And that was the complete story for DC's Sonic the Hedgehog Issue 5 by Ian Flynn. The conclusion to this miniseries, but leaving the door open for another. If you enjoyed this story, you can support the industry and go check it out at your local comic shop. But let me know what you thought of today's video and this mini-series as a whole in the comments below. And like and subscribe for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.